In April 1970, something remarkable happened in Britain. 17,000 babies were born, all within the same week. But these babies didn't just grow up. They became part of a powerful, lifelong study, the British Cohort Study, a study that, for 50 years, followed them, measured them, tested them, watched their lives unfold. At first, it seemed like just another big data project. Scientists gathering facts, statistics, graphs, but buried inside that mountain of numbers, there was something else, something no one expected. A secret, a pattern, a truth, a discovery that could change the way we think, about thinking. It wasn't about genes. It wasn't about how rich your parents were. It wasn't even about how high your IQ was as a child. No, the biggest factor that shaped their minds was something much simpler, much older, something you've probably done before, but maybe you've stopped doing it. It was reading. The scientists behind the British Cohort Study were curious. They wanted to know, why do some people thrive as they grow older, while others struggle? Why do some minds stay sharp, while others fade? So in 2012, when those same babies were now 42 years old, the researchers looked again. They compared their childhood test scores, their IQs, their family backgrounds. Many had started life at the exact same point. Same intelligence, same opportunities. But now, their lives had taken very different paths. Some had become focused, confident, creative thinkers. Others, not so much. Some were foggy, scattered, tired, not from age, but from something else. And then, the researchers found the answer. It wasn't luck, it wasn't schooling, it wasn't money, it was reading. But not just reading headlines, not just scrolling through social media, not quick skimming or tapping through content. Real reading, still reading, focused reading, reading with still eyes, with quiet breath, with a calm mind. The kind of reading that makes time disappear, where you forget yourself and become the story. This habit, reading deeply in childhood, didn't just help these people. It transformed them. It shaped how they thought, how they felt, how they connected with others. It built attention. It built patience. It built empathy. It strengthened memory, not just to remember facts, but to carry ideas, to reflect, to think for yourself. And here's something amazing. Reading mattered 4 times more than whether your parents went to college. Books didn't care who your father was. They cared only that you showed up, opened them, listened. Other studies confirmed this strange magic. Kids who read just one level above their grade at age 7 ended up earning thousands more in adulthood. Their intelligence didn't explain it. Their background didn't erase it. Reading wasn't just helpful. It was the source code. Reading taught kids how to wait, how to focus, how to hold a thought like a flame, how to hear voices that weren't their own, how to imagine someone else's world. And the people who read, they became builders of thought, designers of silence. They became architects of empathy, children of the page. But here's the problem. Not everyone kept reading. Now, we live in a different world, a world of screens, alerts, scrolling, and speed. A world where attention is constantly under attack, and reading, real reading, is becoming rare. 1/4 of young adults in the UK say they never read for pleasure. Half of all adults don't read regularly, and it's not just books. Long-form reading in any format is collapsing. People believe they're still reading, on their phones in fragments, in bursts, but they're not really reading. They're reacting. And here's the truth. The page doesn't live in reaction. Reading isn't just about words. It's about the silence between them, the space for your thoughts to rise. And screens hate silence. So, what's the biggest reason people stop reading? Social media. Not because it's evil, but because it's designed to break your focus, to pull your attention into shiny fragments, to feed you fast content that demands nothing except your time, again and again. Other reasons follow. No time, no energy, no stillness. But here's the scary part. Once the ritual of reading breaks, it's hard to return. The less you read, the harder it becomes. And the harder it becomes, the more you avoid it. Until even 10 pages feel like drowning, and your mind starts to change. We trade deep thoughts for shallow reactions. We trade rich minds for fast distractions. We used to think in paragraphs. Now we scroll through chaos. Our attention span shrinks. Our memory weakens. Our emotions become more reactive. We lose empathy. We lose reflection. We lose the mirror that helps us understand ourselves. And this isn't just personal, it's collective. It's happening to all of us. There's a reason tyrants burned books, not because books are dangerous, but because books wake people up. Inside every book is a breath from another life, a different view, a different voice, a chance to feel, reflect, and question. When we lose reading, we don't just lose stories, we lose our minds. We lose attention, memory, and emotional depth. We lose the voice that says, I am not the algorithm. I am not just data. I am human. But here's the good news. It's not too late. Books don't die. They wait. They wait longer than we do. Inside every unread book is a voice, waiting to speak again. Reading is more than a habit. It's a return to yourself. You don't need to light candles or change your life. You just need 10 minutes a day, not to finish, not to prove anything, but to be present, to read not for speed, but to vanish into the moment, to feel your mind stretch again. So how do we return to reading? How do we rebuild this powerful habit in a world that's pulling us in every direction? Here's the truth. You don't need to go back in time. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start. 10 minutes a day. That's it. Don't read for status. Don't read to finish. Don't even read to get smarter. Read to vanish, to fall into a story, to disappear inside a sentence, to feel your mind stretch again. Pick a book, any book. It doesn't matter if it's fiction or nonfiction, old or new, heavy or short. What matters is this. Start with what haunts you. Start with something that pulls at you. A question, a memory, a moment. You might feel resistance at first. That's normal. Your brain has been trained for speed, for scrolling, for short attention bursts. But reading is the opposite. Reading is slow. It's silent. It stretches your focus like a muscle. And the stretch hurts a little before it heals. It may take effort. But here's the beautiful part. If you stop again, it's okay. Just begin again. Books forgive quickly. The mind is a muscle made of memory. Reading is the weight. No reps, no depth. The page won't beg for your attention, but it will wait for it, like a door half open. And on the other side of that door is a version of you that still dreams in full sentences, that still thinks in depth, that still feels deeply. That version is still there, still whispering from the margins. Go find it, before the noise finishes what it started. Because if you lose the ritual, you don't just lose reading. You lose the mirror, the map, the voice inside you that says, I am not the algorithm. I am not a reaction. I am not just a product of data. What made you human was never the metrics, never the numbers, never the likes. It was the story, the silence, the sentence that asked why instead of just how. Reading is not a luxury. It's not a hobby. It's a form of self-rescue. And the ritual isn't dead. It's just buried under notifications, under distractions, under speed. But you can still reach for it. Today, now, in this moment. Carry a book with you, not as a task, but as a talisman. Turn off the noise, sink into the ink. Let the silence return. Let the stillness come back. Let your mind remember who it is. Because if you don't read, you forget how to write. If you forget how to write, you forget how to think. And thought is just speech turned inward. Reading doesn't just make you smarter, it makes you different, less reactive, more reflective, harder to manipulate, stronger inside.